Hi everyone, I'm Matthew Moniz, and this is the HP Spectre, the world's thinnest laptop according to HP, and in my opinion, the most beautiful laptop on the market today. It's an ultrabook that's incredibly thin, light, and extremely well made. However, it does come with a high price tag that puts it in MacBook and MacBook Air territory. So is the HP Spectre worth it? Let's find out. In terms of premium design, the HP Spectre is at the top of the charts for Windows Ultra Portables. It's made out of aluminum and carbon fiber with a copper gold hinge and HP logo on the back. However, that hinge, as fancy as it is, does attract fingerprints quite easily and can make the laptop look dirty. Regardless, the Spectre's design is an eye-catcher and manages to stand out in a market full of silver aluminum laptops. What also stands out is how light it is. It's only 10.4 millimeters thin and weighs 2.45 pounds. You definitely won't feel this putting it in your backpack. In terms of ports, there is none on either side. The ports are located on the back of the hinge. There's two USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C ports, capable of speeds of up to 10 gigabits per second. These two ports are capable of supporting a 4K monitor. And there's also one USB 3.1 Gen 1 port that can reach speeds of 5 gigabits per second. All ports can be used to charge the laptop, and HP has included one USB Type-C to USB 3.0 adapter right inside of the box. Now, even though the Spectre has two more ports than the MacBook, you'll probably still need to carry dongles around to connect things like an SD card or charge your phone. Now, there's only two configurations to choose from, and the main differences between both of them is the processor speed. Unlike the MacBook, which uses the weaker Intel Core M series CPUs, the Spectre uses a dual-core i5 or i7 processor. My review unit is the i7 model, but both units come with 8 GB of RAM, a 13-inch FHD non-touch display, an integrated Intel HD 520 graphics chip, and 256 GB of NVMe SSD. Now, the read speeds on the SSD are extremely fast. I was averaging speeds of 1400 megabytes a second. However, the write speeds consisted of 300 and were quite low for an NVMe SSD. Regardless, most people will still be happy with its performance. The cost of my unit is $1,100 US or $1,800 Canadian. The Spectre's 13-inch 1080p Full HD display is beautiful. The screen gets brighter than my Dell XPS 15 and HP Elite X2, but the Huawei MateBook manages to get slightly brighter. Needless to say, it gets brighter than most comparable laptops on the market. The Spectre also manages to cover 100% of the sRGB color spectrum, which means you'll be able to see every color when viewing images. Watching movies looked fantastic, the blacks were bold, the colors had great contrast, and there was very little color shifting when viewing it at different angles. Now, the screen is glossy, which means if you're outdoors, you're gonna pick up a lot of reflections. Just make sure to find a nice shaded area to work in. Above the display is an HD webcam with mics on both sides, so you're gonna get great audio for voice or video calls. However, the video quality itself was just okay. I looked grainy and the colors were a tad on the cold side. The keyboard was one area where I expected the HP Spectre to perform poorly due to how thin it is. However, to my surprise, it was actually quite comfortable. It only has 1.3 millimeters of key travel distance, and for those who watch my reviews know that I prefer 1.5 and above. But HP did a good job at making it work. Each key feels strong but slightly stiff, and when it reaches the bottom, it softens out. I prefer this keyboard over the one on my Dell XPS 15, which has a similar travel distance. In addition, there's a very little keyboard flex, but only one level of backlighting to choose from. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't used any great touchpads this year from HP. Most of them have been good or okay, but not comparable to the Dell XPS 13 or 15. With that being said, the one on the Spectre is fantastic. It has a nice click to it, there's plenty of room to move around, and gestures were all accurate. To go along with the great touchpad are two forward-facing speakers by Bang & Olufsen. Again, considering how small this laptop is, I was expecting speakers to be placed underneath or somewhere in the back. In terms of sound quality, there's little to no bass, but the highs are crisp and the mids sounded well balanced. The sound won't fill up a large room, but it's more than loud enough for a small one. Now, when it comes to performance, the HP is more than powerful enough to handle any productivity task you throw at it. Unlike most 2-in-1s that use the more efficient Core M processors, the Spectre packs a powerful Core i5 or i7 CPU. This means anything from working in Microsoft Office, Google Docs, light editing in Photoshop, or having lots of tabs open will run fast and smooth. Gamers will have to look elsewhere as the integrated graphics chip is not powerful enough to handle most modern games. However, if you play older ones like CSGO or League of Legends, you'll be just fine. The HP Spectre was designed using Intel's breakthrough hyperbaric cooling technology, which actively draws cool air in rather than just venting heat out. Unfortunately, I found the laptop heats up quite easily, especially if you do anything more than just browse the web. For example, under full load, you can expect temperatures of 100 degrees Fahrenheit on the upper portion of the deck. Now, it wasn't uncomfortable to type on, but you could definitely feel it getting warm. On the bottom, it got a bit hotter, hitting temperatures of 105, so I definitely recommend keeping it on a hard surface so it can vent properly and avoid using it on your lap. And last is the battery life. This is where HP had to get creative. In order to fit a battery inside, they had to split the battery into 4 different sections. I averaged around 5.5 hours of use before needing to plug in. This involves surfing the net, watching movies, and working with Google Docs. It's not awful battery life, but it pales in comparison to the MacBook, which can get upwards of 9 to 10 hours. Alright, so here's my closing thoughts. The HP Spectre is the most beautiful Windows laptop to hit the market. It's thin, it's light, it's portable, and offers great performance. The display provides a good viewing experience, the sound is capable for a laptop of its size, and the keyboard and trackpad are both top-notch. Now, the only 2 areas that I feel it falls short is with heat and battery life. The fans power on too quickly with the simplest of tasks, and it gets hot without much effort. 5 to 6 hours of battery might be okay for most people, but if you need a whole day's worth, then I consider something like the Dell XPS 13 or MacBook Air. The bottom line is this: HP has come a long way over the last couple of years. They no longer just make your run-of-the-mill laptops. The HP Spectre is a great example that Apple is not the only company who can make beautiful products. With that being said, I have no problems recommending this laptop to anyone out there. So what do you guys think of the HP Spectre? I want to know what you guys think.